Matt Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Thanks for being here with us. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. So much. Wow. Got a jam-packed show for you again today. And, you know, a lot of it just set your hair on fire. But some of it's actually really, really good. Texas Governor Greg Abbott just signed a law banning abortions as early as 6 weeks. 6 weeks. So that's all abortions. This is essentially a heartbeat bill. But 6 weeks, that's much longer than it takes to detect a heartbeat. I understand heartbeat is detected after 21 days, right? Didn't we just hear that somewhere? I think somebody just told us, yeah, the heartbeat is detectable after 21 days. Amazing, if that's true. I'll have to follow up on that. But we've now joined a dozen red states banning abortion after the heartbeat is detected. The left is going insane with this. More than 90% of abortions take place in the first 13 weeks of a woman's pregnancy. Sometimes they don't know they're pregnant by 6 weeks. The law allows pro-life activists to sue doctors who carry out abortions. I mean, there's a lot going on here in this bill.
This allows the patient to sue the doctor, which, by my understanding, is unusual for this kind of legislation. So,
yeah, seems like it. Seems like
it'll be challenged. I mean, this is nearly over.
Nowhere near over. So we'll see how that holds up. Eventually, this will probably wind up with the Supreme Court.
But aren't these red states doing effectively what we've been saying that they should do for years? Yes. Is that you throw you throw your dream bill or whatever, your far right bill out there and test it, and let's see. You might end up getting something less in the end, but it would still be better than what the status quo is now. It's almost like you Overton window the left for a change.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know, and make them bend to you for a change. I mean,
at least you'll be saving some lives. Mm-hmm. You'll be saving some babies. And, you know, if it only saves one, isn't it worth it? So, yeah, it's worth the effort. I mean, we should be banning abortion, period. There shouldn't be abortions. So, unless the woman's life is in danger, and that almost is never the case anymore. It's not 1823 anymore. So, that's usually not an issue. But we're not trying to do that. The left always insinuates that's what we're trying to do. And certainly we'd love to, but I think everybody's pretty realistic at this point to know you probably don't start there, but we'd like to end up there. All right, speaking of Texas, there's a lot going on at the Texas State House. Texas Senator Bob Hall had some vaccine stats that he shared. And
the governor
here it is.
Himself recently said, and I quote, "Here is a reality everybody needs to understand. These vaccines have not been formally approved by the FDA. They have been approved for emergency use operation, and that means no one can be required to take the vaccine."
Oh.
A little bit of history. In 2019, there were reported to the VARs 203 vaccine deaths. In 2018, 119, and 27, 85. Since December of 2020 through April 23rd of 2021, 4 months, there have been reported 3,362 deaths for COVID vaccine. That's roughly 30 people a day dying from this vaccine, for one of them. Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, VAERS, is estimated by most people that follow it as being less than 1% of what actually happens.
What?
Compare the COVID vaccine to the mandated vaccine for bacterial meningitis. One person died between the time of 2007 and 2015 for that vaccine. Folks, this is not about vaccines in general.
Wow.
In the 4 months of 2021, we've had more COVID-19 experimental vaccine deaths than all the vaccine deaths for the 15-year period between 1997 and 2013, plus almost 1,000 heart attacks and over 8,000 hospitalizations. In 1976, there were 45 million people who were vaccinated for the swine flu. A mere 15 people died, and I don't say that lightly because any death is very regrettable. But the program was immediately halted because it was considered too risky. 53 deaths.
Wow.
And we've had
approaching 4,000
I did too.
with the COVID.
I think you did.
Even vaccines that are FDA approved can still have significant side effects. The FDA's vaccine adverse reporting system contains 44,383 reports of Texans suffering from adverse events following vaccination. The federal government has also paid out more than $4.5 billion to vaccine victims through the National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. The law passed in 1986.
Wow. All right. So there's a lot of stats there. And he's using VAERS. That's on the CDC website. It's a vaccine adverse reaction statistics that they use. Now, from what I understand about that, it's the deaths that they report are just deaths after you've received the vaccine. So it may or may not be. This is the excuse of the CDC. I'm just trying to tell you that they may or may not be vaccine related. We don't know that for sure. And the adverse effects, I don't think they follow up on them too closely, but that's just where everybody reports it. So it may not be as bad, but on the other hand, it could be a lot worse than they're reporting. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to say. But we do hear about this stuff every single day. And nobody seems to be disputing, and nobody's, as far as I've seen, offered an explanation as to the magnetizing situation.
No, and all you're getting online as far as disputing, which they're not, they're just pulling off these videos. They're just making it impossible to share the information that people are experiencing.
That'll fix it. Yeah, just to remove it. Yeah. We don't want anybody to say anything because, this is America, and you can't just say anything you want to. So.
But what if it's my experience?
Yeah, you can't say it.
I'm just telling people what happened.
Is it against the vaccine?
Well, I mean, it had a negative.
Well, yeah, negative can't. Well, we're not a negative people here.
I want to tell people so they can have
stories.
All of the information.
We want sunshine and light and happiness, and so we don't want any of your negativity. We're just going to take it down. Okay? All right. Thanks for playing.
Okay.
Also testifying at the hearing. In addition to Bob Hall, the senator there, was a doctor who had some interesting things to say as well.
Do people with natural immunity to COVID need a vaccine? And is there any increased risk of the natural immune system individuals having an adverse reaction to the vaccine?
Natural immunity is more robust than vaccine immunity. There's a study from the original SARS back in 2002. The people that survived that first SARS, they've looked at them 17 years later, and they showed robust immunity still to SARS-CoV-1 17 years later.
Nice.
Historically, we've always known that natural immunity tends to last a lifetime, i.e. the measles. Natural immunity will last a lifetime. So no, I don't believe there's any need to vaccinate someone who's already acquired natural immunity. We need to remember natural immunity is more than just antibodies. You have T cells, natural killer cells. You've got the innate immune response. You've got a robust immune system, not just antibodies. And to the second part, you're reiterating that if you've already had COVID naturally, and some of these will be asymptomatic people, and some people won't have a positive antibody test because their T cells were strong enough, they didn't need to mount an antibody response. So you can't catch all these guys with an antibody screen. But if you've had natural immunity, over 50% of Texans have, then you're at a 2 to 3-fold increased risk of adverse reaction if you get vaccinated.
Oh, wow.
How much does that suck?
I wonder if that's what's happening. People get COVID, don't realize it, get the vaccine, and their body goes, whoa, now we're ready to fight.
Or their natural immune system stopped it from the beginning.
Right.
And now the vaccine is screwing with their immune system. Mm-hmm. They're 2 to 3 times more likely to have severe reactions. Jeez.
What did I say a year ago on this program when they were developing these vaccines? And everyone was like, oh, you're an anti-vaxxer. No, I just don't understand exactly what's going into my body, so I'm going to play it safe and not get it, okay? And now these governments, man, they are coming up with...
Especially since you've had it.
Yes.
You definitely don't want to get it now.
Is it not creeping anyone else out? All the incentives and the bribes. What is the deal with the PR train? We got the New Jersey governor saying you could have dinner with me. And
what a treat.
Oh, boy. Now sign me up. Oh,
I'm in.
Right here.
I'm in now.
I just don't understand all of these lotteries and these scholarships. Something's wrong, man.
Yeah, in Ohio, they're giving away $1 million to 5 people. Like, what a week for 5 weeks. If you get vaccinated, you go into a drawing for it. That's just amazing.
And look, if the lottery or the scholarship or the dinner with the New Jersey governor isn't enough, we'll just take away your ability to hold a job.
Now, his 50%, how do they know that 50% of Texans are immune to it naturally? They're naturally immune to this virus.
Well, what percentage of Texans have had it, I think, is...
I don't know.
Probably the question. I don't know.
But his claim just now was you don't want to get it if your natural immune system fights it off. And 50% of Texans have that natural immunity. Wow, where'd you get that? That's interesting. Is there a number of people can call on that, Ivan? Wow.
Let's see here. This story is from just a quick search in early January. Boy, I love the pop-up ads. So in early January, 27% of Texans had already contracted COVID. So I wonder if he's making a reference since then. Maybe we're up to 50% of Texans have had it?
Maybe. I don't know. In Canada, this is interesting, too. Parental consent isn't even needed for kids to get the vaccine. Wow.
Well, they need their parents' permission to get vaccines. And in terms of, I guess, just capacity of vaccination sites, will those youth be able to have their parents, a guardian, accompany them in to get their vaccines? How will that look once children start being vaccinated?
So we don't actually require for even our routine grade 7 vaccinations. They don't actually have to have parental consent. It's on the judgment of the immunizer whether the child, the youth is determined to be able to make their own decision around vaccine.
Okay. All right.
And that will carry through for COVID vaccination as well.
All righty. Good. That's
the
good.
Judgment of a stranger with a syringe.
We'll keep them out of a movie if they're under 17. But yeah, you can go ahead and have this dangerous vaccination without your parents' permission. That's not a problem. Now, if you want to come see this movie, then you need a parent with you, or you can't come in.
So you don't trust this stranger who you, as a parent, will never meet of making the decision if your kid's good enough to have the vaccine?
No, kind of don't. Kind of like to be in on that decision.
But they're the healthcare professionals, Pat. They know all.
Yeah.
It's just like educational professionals to teach your kids. You got to have a degree. You got to have a background in education to know what's best for your kid. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, but, I mean, parents are too stupid. We've heard that from some educators. The parents are too stupid. They can't teach their kids. They shouldn't be homeschooling. I mean, that's cute and everything that you think you can try that, but you're going to have some backward, stupid adult is what you're raising if you're going to homeschool them. And by the way, they'll have no social skills because the only place they can get social skills is at school, where they're being bullied and kicked around and offered drugs and alcohol and tobacco.
Yeah, I love that. I love that argument. I love that. They're like, well, but they won't be able to socialize. Yeah, that's half the point. I don't want my kid with your kid. I'm sorry.
I don't want that socialization, okay? Don't want that. In fact, that's probably the biggest reason we brought him home for 23 years.
Thank you.
We didn't want that for him.
I think get it from both sides. The crappy education from the teachers and the crappy interaction with hellraisers.
And that's not to say there aren't good teachers, because there are. There are great teachers and great schools.
And there are good kids.
But
boy, they're tough to find.
But what we wanted to do, our theory was, look, we want to give them a solid foundation. And they don't, and be able to be mature enough to handle certain situations when they're not at 7 years old or 8 years old or 9 years old. Too many things come at them, and they're not prepared for it. But if you've given them that foundation, and by the time they are faced with really important decisions when they're in their teens, hopefully they have that foundation to make the right choices, and they're mature enough to make the right choices.
And they're still going to get it thrown at them when they're young adults in college.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, you can do the greatest job raising your kid for 18 years, but at some point the onslaught's going to arrive.
Yeah, you're setting them out in the world.
And you just hope
point.
that they're prepared for it by then.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, 888-933-93. I just want to say something about Glint. Take a minute and tell you about Glint. Glint, I believe in this product. They've been a sponsor for a while now. And as your dollars are being eroded every single day by hyperinflation and low interest rates, saving and spending in real gold with Glint, with the Glint app and this Glint MasterCard.
Wow, can I take a look at that?
You can.
I'll give it back to you after lunch today.
Yeah, okay. Nice. Yeah, go ahead and try to use that. That's
okay.
Obviously 0.0000000.
Theater of the mind.
Anyway, it's more relevant than it's ever been.
This is cool.
I love Glint because, frankly, I don't trust the Fed. I don't trust crypto necessarily. I don't trust our banks. I don't trust the stock market. In fact, I withdrew my money from the stock market. And I don't trust our government. So I think buying gold right now that you can also spend, even at the grocery store, restaurants, wherever, it's just a smart move. But here's where it gets really exciting because Glint is crowdfunding right now. They want you to be a part of their future and to grow with them. So just go to republic.co/Glint to find out more. If you qualify, you can invest in what I believe is the future of money. While there's a lot of people enthralled with a lot of different things, some of those things don't make nearly as much sense as Glint does to me. Again, just go to republic.co/Glint. republic.co/Glint. Get the details and do your own homework.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So they really want us to get those vaccines. They really do. To the point where they're sending out emergency notices.
So many members of your audience.
Like an Amber Alert that you get on your phone.
Exactly.
You know, when you're sitting in your house with your family and every single one of them has a phone or two, and then all of a sudden this alarm goes off in everybody's phone. It's like, geez, is there an air raid? Are the Russians coming? What the hell?
No, it's a silver alert. There's an old man who took his
car.
Yeah, about 12 counties away.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Get back to your dinner.
It's in El Paso, which is 10 hours from you.
It's unreal.
We think he might be in your neighborhood now. We don't know.
But no, anyway. They keep getting these emergency alerts, and they keep sharing them at Pat Unleashed on Twitter, at Keith Malinak, and I'm seeing these things pop up. And like, here's just one that somebody just sent. The Pickled Squirrel sent this one. Public safety alert. Free Johnson & Johnson Pfizer COVID vaccine, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily at Gary Roosevelt High School. I don't know. 730 West 25th Avenue. Ages 12 and up.
Do they list a hospital that's nearby for after the blood clots start forming in your body? You can just stop by real quick.
I got to be honest with you. I want to find out who Gary Roosevelt was. It's not Franklin or Teddy. It's Gary.
Gary Roosevelt.
What?
Also, more than 100 million Johnson & Johnson doses are on hold as U.S. regulators inspect them.
Uh-oh.
So is it possible even to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine right now? 100 million. That sounds like the whole batch. That's got to be, right?
That's a high number.
That's a big number.
Good grief.
No one is more disappointed than we are that we had to suspend our 24/7 manufacturing of new vaccine. The chief executive, Robert G. Creamer, told members of a House subcommittee that's investigating his firm, he said, "I apologize for the failure of our controls." Yeah, well, tell that to the families of the people with blood clots. They'd probably love to hear from you. In more than 3 hours of testimony, Kramer acknowledged unsanitary conditions, including mold at their Baltimore plant.
What? Roll up that sleeve.
Fended off aggressive questions from House Democrats about his stock sales and hundreds of thousands of dollars in bonuses for top company execs last year. Under aggressive questioning by House Democrats, he said he expects the Baltimore plant, which was forced to halt operation a month ago after contamination spoiled the equivalent of 15 million doses, to resume production in a matter of days. My teenage son's room gives your facility a run for its money in terms of its cleanliness.
Oh, wow.
According to Raja Krishnamurthy. Representative Carolyn Maloney, Democrat of New York, complained that emergent officials appear to have wasted taxpayer dollars while lining their own pockets. And then, again, that's according to Mr. Krishna. He also asked Mr. Kramer sharply if he would consider turning over his $1.2 million bonus from 2020 to the American taxpayers. What? And Kramer responded, Congressman, I will not make that commitment.
Why turn it over to the American taxpayers? In other words, to the federal government.
Yeah.
Why does the federal government deserve it any more than that guy does?
They certainly don't.
Stop.
And we all know that. Jeez, this vaccine thing. I am so confused by it. I don't even know. I don't know what to do. I guess take my chances with the virus. Because they're both completely unknown right now. The vaccine is completely unknown. You don't know how that's going to affect you. You don't know what that's going to cause in your body, what it's going to do to your immune system, and turns your body on itself, which is just exactly what the virus does. And that's why it gives us so many weird problems that don't usually come from a flu-like virus. So it's been fun, and it's going to continue to be fun, I'm sure, for the near future.
No repercussions for China, I'd like to point out. So.
Yeah. Well, we can't even call it that, the China disease. We can't even say it came from the Wuhan lab. They won't even admit that, which it obviously did. Everybody knows it, but you can't really say it.
No, it's from a bat.
Yeah, it's from a bat.
In a wet market is what happened, from what I hear. I mean,
because bats are such good eating that people just can't resist them in the wet market, right?
It's just...
Oh, man, is that fresh bat? Yeah. Wrap that up for me, would you?
I mean, there's a lot of issues with Wuhan right now. Okay, we got to address these.
Why would you eat bat? I don't care who you are. Why would you do it? I don't care.
The next time someone says, well, I don't know, China's really doing great. Maybe communism isn't so bad at all. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where they eat bat and pangolin and house cats and whatever else is in that market? Oh, gosh. Remember we had a whole list.
Yeah, we did.
It was very gross.
It was nasty. Really was. All right. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. There's some controversy now about, we showed you this yesterday, Joe Biden taking a test drive in the Ford F-150 Lightning, which, by the way, again, $70,000 vehicle.
Yeah, that's working Pail Joe, right? Or Lunch Pail Joe?
Lunch Pail Joe.
Yeah.
Middle class Joe. Blue collar Joe.
Look at that. Boy, and he's driving like a normal red-blooded American. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
Woo! Joseph.
Why is the truck...
I don't know, it's like wrapped up in like paper. Could they not unwrap it for the president? Look at that. And he's still got like the little protective coating and stuff.
Weird.
President,
this stuff is quick.
How's it drive?
Look at him. He's turning the wheel. It's not
but
turning.
It's not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
So, I guess the thing is, it has two steering wheels.
Yeah. Look at this. The guy.
What? The other guy is actually driving the truck.
Like a driver's ed vehicle, Pat.
Look at his hand. Is on the wheel, and I'll bet you $1 million.
Oh yeah.
He's the one driving the vehicle. Biden can't even drive around a parking lot.
It's literally
in a Ford F-150.
Like Biden's a little kid, and yeah, sure, you're driving. Yeah, turn that wheel, because he turned the wheel to the right, and the truck kept rolling straight. I mean,
it's a pretend.
It's so pretend it doesn't even control the vehicle at all.
It's like the little cart that looks like a car, little grocery cart that your kids can drive around in the grocery store while you're pushing them. He thinks he's driving, but he's not.
Right.
It's adorable, really. It's adorable.
That is.
Also, the joke about killing the ABC reporter went nowhere. Nobody cared about that.
Nobody cared.
Not even ABC. And for a fact, had that been Donald Trump.
Oh, my goodness.
It'd be all they'd be talking about right now.
Still.
Donald Trump joked about killing an ABC reporter. You can't joke about that. You can't even joke about it.
It'd be
everywhere.
It would be Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon sitting together on CNN with their serious faces on going, this is just
violent rhetoric.
The latest manifestation of the man's hatred for this press.
Violent rhetoric. Enemy of the people. That's what he calls us. And then he threatened to run one over. What do you want to bet? Had she gotten in front of the vehicle, he would have gunned her down.
Yeah, and like you could even see Chris Cuomo saying, well, what about the person, Don, who says he's just joking, ha, sense of humor. And then Don Lemon would say, it's no laughing matter to be joking about death.
Yes, that's right.
Under any circumstances, Chris.
There are sick individuals in this world, and they could take their cue from that.
Thank you. Yes.
Instead, what are we hearing?
What?
Because it was Biden.
Hello. Wait, how did we get a microphone into Joe Biden's brain?
Hello.
Oh, this is the press.
Yeah.
This is the press response.
Yeah, sure is. So, pathetic. It's just pathetic. And speaking of this sharp leader that we have.
Sharp leader.
He also lashed out at another branch of the military. Check this out. He's speaking, I believe, to the Coast Guard at their commencement, and they didn't think he was funny when he made a joke, and he didn't like it.
I can only assume that you will enjoy educating your family about how the Coast Guard is, quote, the hard nucleus around the Navy forms in times of war. You're a really dull class. I mean, come on, man. Is the sun getting to you?
Come on, man.
I would think you'd have an opportunity when I say that about the Navy to clap, but being here together.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. He berates them.
Well, all kidding aside, being here together is a victory in and of itself.
All right, shut up.
That is unbelievable. And it's at least the second time it happened. Mm-hmm. This happened during the campaign. Wasn't it during the campaign? Or was it after his presidency?
No, this is back when he was vice president. But, I think they've got the video.
Yeah, watch this.
What you may hear about me, I have incredibly good judgment.
No, this is not when he's vice president. This is just recently.
I appointed Johnson to the academy. I just want you to know that. Just clap for that, you stupid bastards. Understanding what you may hear about me, I have incredibly good judgment.
Just clap for me, you stupid bastard.
I married Jill. And 2, I appointed Johnson to the academy. I just want you to know that. Just clap for that, you stupid bastards.
What is wrong with this guy? We know what's wrong.
And then after that, he said, you are a dull bunch or something.
He said the exact same thing, that you're a dull bunch.
And I don't know how.
Gosh.
How long do you want to do the comparison? Because he ripped off Reagan. The guy has a history of ripping off speeches.
Well, we'll do that in a second because I want to spend a minute with that because it's important. It's important to see the decline of this guy and who he really is when he lets his guard down and he gets pissed. And he gets pissed on a moment's notice. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be angry about it. It wasn't funny. That's why people didn't laugh. Not that they're dull or the sun has gotten to them. Or that they're stupid bastards. You're not funny.
Not only that, but his contempt for the military.
Contempt, absolutely.
That's his go-to to show how he really feels about our troops.
That they're dullards. That's how he feels.
You stupid bastards. Oh, there's your commander-in-chief. Yes, sir. Ugh.
Wow. Oh, welcome. 888-933-93. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where Vern Lundquist tweets, Loved his play-by-play, by the way. Still do.
Yeah.
Still do.
Good stuff. He's still at the Masters. That was awesome to
Yeah,
hear.
that's great. He's getting up there in age, too. What is he, in his 80s?
Let's
Gotta
see.
be in his 80s.
I love Vern Lundquist.
So do I.
And I love that he listens to this program, too.
Me too.
Which is really cool.
That's really cool.
He is, in July, he'll be 81.
Uh-huh. People are already so socially awkward from too much screen time / social media. I can't imagine how weird today's youth will end up being as adults.
Especially with what we've put them through with COVID masks and bullcrap for the last year plus.
Yeah, plus all the wokeness, all the garbage they're being propagandized with at school. Jeez.
Critical race theory. We are going to raise, right now, the little seedlings of psychopaths.
Well, seriously, if we don't head it off at the pass, it'll be the end of our nation. Yeah. It'll literally be the end of America. Vax Ed professor? Oh, come on, Keith. All kids are just little angels. Just ask their parents.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. OPKs, man. Other people's kids. No, thank you.
For sure. For Mike, regarding vaccine deaths, if we count all the COVID deaths with comorbidities, we can count all vaccine deaths with comorbidities.
Yep.
That's a good point.
I had the same thought when you were reading those numbers, and we were saying, well, maybe it's not that high. Oh, because COVID's that high? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. And then I just heard the spin this week. Oh, almost certainly. I can't remember which news. It was CNN, I think. Almost certainly the numbers are much higher than being reported for deaths from COVID. Like, it's the opposite of that.
If they believed that,
the opposite,
then they would have never gotten rid of their stupid
their counter
up there every day. That as soon as the CDC gave them the green light and they had that extra space on camera, they took it off. So if it's as bad as you think it is, CNN,
put it back up.
Put it back.
Caffeinated Texan tweets, Creepy Joe taught me something today. When Pat and Keith don't read my tweets online, it isn't because I'm not funny. It's just because they're stupid jerks. Thanks, Joe.
I mean, that is accurate.
That is accurate.
We are jerks.
That's true. But, yeah. Joe learned you some manners, didn't he?
Yeah,
taught you some things that you can use in your life. So don't say he didn't do anything for you.
Right.
Let's see, from Smushing Duck. Biden flubbed the delivery on that Coast Guard joke and stole the joke from Reagan, who delivered properly and got a big laugh. And very true. We're going to play that again in a second. Show you the difference between the Biden delivery and what Ronald Reagan said. It's interesting, too, that Biden says, quote, but doesn't say who the quote came from. Because it came from Ronald Reagan.
And he was quoting somebody else, I think. So
Reagan was quoting somebody else, too?
But Reagan properly attributed when he spoke. So,
Jack in Ohio. Hi, you're on the Blaze.
Hello.
Hey, Jack.
Wow, cool.
Don't say that in an airport.
Oh, no! No, you didn't!
Actually, hey, Jack would be okay. Hi, Jack, you probably want to avoid.
Actually, it's really funny you say that because when I was a kid, that actually happened to me in a Kroger. One of my mom's friends yelled it really loud, and everyone kind of stopped and looked.
Were they going to fly the Kroger to the Middle East if their ransom weren't met? Or?
It's happened. It's happened, Keith.
A Kroger? Really?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. What's up?
I just want to say a couple years ago, I was watching, I think it might have been Jay Leno's Garage, but they had Joe Biden on there after he was, done being VP and everything, talking about, he's love of cars and he had a Corvette collection and he was showing a couple of his Corvettes. And he was saying how when he was VP, Secret Service would not allow them to actually drive cars. So that was his first time driving in like 8 years. So I'm wondering if it's the same situation now.
I'm sure it is.
Still not allowed to drive it.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, good point. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jack. Yeah, I'm sure they probably look down on that.
Right. And
it's not 1950 anymore when Harry Truman can hop into his old Buick or whatever it was and drive back to Missouri by himself with he and his wife.
And think
that
about
doesn't happen anymore.
Biden being in Congress since the 70s. He wasn't driving himself to the airport when he would go back to Delaware or anything like that. I mean, plus he always rode the train.
Always took the train.
I wonder when the last time dude actually drove a vehicle.
Be interesting
70s.
to know. Yeah, probably. It's probably somewhere around there. Yeah. All right, 888-900-3393. So let's start with Biden's line and his berating of the military.
Yeah, I think the clip is actually
flipped.
Well,
All
I mean,
right.
I guess you could.
You got them both together?
Yeah, let's
on
see.
the same one.
However you want to do it, guys. Your call.
Do it.
My Coast Guard aides have been excellent. One of them taught me that, and I quote, "The Coast Guard is that hard nucleus about which the Navy forms in time of war."
See, look, he delivered it perfectly, and they love
I can
him.
only assume that you will enjoy educating your family about how the Coast Guard is, quote, the hard nucleus around the Navy forms in times of war.
God, what?
You're a really dull class.
No, you're a dullard yourself. Wow, that is something else. And look, he didn't even give him. He gave him like half a second. They're like half a beat there, and then he's berating them.
And he screwed up the line
badly.
He left out a couple words and
butchered it completely. And then he wants him to laugh or applaud or cheer like Reagan.
But in his head,
incredible.
That was the funniest thing, and they should be laughing. Bro, stop with the.
Well,
telephone.
they showed him the Reagan clip before he did the speech.
Sure.
Here, this will kill. At the Coast Guard. Look what happened with Reagan. Do this line. And he's pissed that it didn't work for him.
It comes. First of all, he flubs it. It comes across as disingenuous, and then it just shows that he definitely didn't earn the applause when he shows what he thinks about the crowd. Oh my gosh, this guy.
As he's done before, as we showed you. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe this guy was elected. We begged and we pleaded, didn't we?
Yes,
didn't we beg and plead?
It is definitely very, very hard to believe that this man was, in fact, elected.
Seriously. And if you're to believe the results of the election, which, yes, there are some questions, but I think, to me, it doesn't do any good to say he didn't win, because there he is. So if you're to believe the election results, he won by 7 million votes. That's outrageous that he duped that many people. This dullard, this dolt, this guy who seriously is cognitively declining at a rate that is exponential at this point. He's declining exponentially.
Yep.
And we got a front row seat to it. So does the whole world. Man, how they must be laughing at us. Then we've got our military situation, our CIA, which is pumping out videos that show how woke they are. That show that, yeah, we got trans people here. We've got gays. We've got the entire spectrum of LGBTQIA2 plus people. Yeah, we got two spirits here, we're pretty sure. And we're celebrating the two spirits.
Just the two?
Yeah, the two spirits and the questioning. No, we got some questioning. And we got the asexual people that don't have sex at all. So we're running the whole spectrum of LGBTQIA2+. Meanwhile, our adversaries on the other side of the globe are doing things a little bit differently. Here's a new Russian ad for their military. Now, you don't know what they're saying, but the guy,
muscular guy,
hopping out of bed early in the morning, doing push-ups now, glaring at us. Now he's paratrooping, he's jumping out of an airplane, shooting, he's sniping in the snow.
Wow, he's a tough guy.
Begins in California.
And here's
our
our CIA.
Raised by two moms.
This is the Army.
I also marched
Oh, yeah,
for
it is.
equality.
Yeah, this is the Army.
I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age.
No.
To marry my other mom.
Oh.
With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class. And after meeting
Take
with
that,
an Army
Russia.
recruiter,
Okay?
I
We
found
got
it.
people, we got girls in our army
Inner strength.
who have two moms.
I'm U.S. Army Corporal
Deal with
Emma
that.
Malone Lord, and I answered my call.
Yeah, Did that guy in Russia have two moms? We don't even know because they didn't even tell us.
I don't have parents at all. Patrick.
Man,
Help
I
us.
tell you.
It's,
when you juxtapose it that way,
oh boy,
it's pathetic. It shows you the lengths to which we have dropped. We've gone down a rabbit hole, and it's going to be tough to dig out of this. It's going to be tough to dig out.
God bless our military.
Yep.
May you all be safe wherever you are.
Let me tell you about real estate agents I trust. You need an agent who can see you through the whole process. Somebody with a lot of experience, not somebody that someone recommended to you who's their second cousin once removed, and they do this on the weekends and things. So you want somebody who really knows this business and is out doing it every single day, and it's their lifeblood, and they live it and love it. These are the agents of real estate agents I trust. They've been fully vetted. They've got great track records and marketing plans, and they're fans of the show. So when you talk about the juxtaposition between the Russian military and what our army ads look like, they're going to know what you're talking about. You'll have something to share with each other. RealestateAgentsITrust.com. The name really says it all. RealestateAgentsITrust.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Meanwhile, they're trying to blame Donald Trump for the situation that's happening in Israel right now. The Biden administration has laid the blame squarely on Donald Trump.
Was there too much peace?
There was. Yes, and so it just pent up and pent up and pent up.
Okay.
And he kept it. He kept it from exploding.
Right.
So now it got to such a bubble point that it just burst. And thanks a lot, Donald Trump.
Huh.
It's amazing. Not one situation like this that I can remember during the 4 years of Donald Trump. We never had an extended breakout of violence like this. And they warned us that was going to happen. Remember when we moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem? Oh, you're going to cause all kinds of violence in the Middle East. The Hamas is not going to stand for that. They were quiet as church mice during that time. Now, all hell has broken loose. And they're trying to, not just in Israel, but on the border, in our economy. They're trying to lay all of that at the foot of Donald Trump. Sorry, nope, it's going on your watch. So you got to deal with it. And they're trying to get a ceasefire going, but I think Netanyahu really wants to root out the Hamas terrorists once and for all, and bring a stop to this nonsense. I mean, when you've got the AP shacking up in the same building with Hamas, and that they knew it. They had to have known it. They were there for 15 years. You didn't know Hamas was in the same building you were housed in? Okay. Yeah, I'm buying that. And we're supposed to have all kinds of sympathy for the Palestinians at this point, because the big, mean, bully Israel is picking on them again. I can't buy it. Look at the way, we were talking about the indoctrination of our children in our schools. Look at the indoctrination for the Palestinian kids. This is from a Palestinian kids TV show. It's obviously in Arabic, but there's a translation that we can read. But watch the poem that these two little girls are asked to read on Palestinian television. They want to recite a short poem. I do not fear the rifle, because your throngs are in delusion and ignorant herds. Jerusalem is my land. Jerusalem is my honor. Jerusalem is my days and my wildest dreams. O you who murdered Allah's pious prophets. O you who were brought up on spilling blood. You have been condemned to humiliation and hardship. O sons of Zion, O most evil among creations. O barbaric monkeys, wretched pigs. Jerusalem is not your den. Jerusalem opposes your throngs. Jerusalem vomits from within it your impunity, because Jerusalem, your impure ones, and Jerusalem, you who are filth. I do not fear barbarity as long as my heart is Quran in my city, as long as I have my arm and my stones, as long as I'm free and do not barter. I will not fear your throngs. I will not fear the rifle. Okay. So wretched monkeys and pigs. Just some of what their children are taught to believe about the Israelis and the Jews. Isn't that sweet? Hey, who wouldn't side with these guys? I mean, they're lovely. Really, this time of year, they're really quite lovely. That's the time of year when you want your kids reciting poems like that, isn't it?
I wouldn't want to
In
sit
springtime.
down at a table with those little girls,
My
much
gosh.
less once they become adults. And
So sad, because what chance do they have? What chance do they have being taught that kind of hatred from the very beginning?
But they're the victims.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Also, we've got this amazing call that somebody intercepted this.
Yeah, IDF called Hamas to tell them get out of the building. We're about to blow it up, and this is what it was.
Okay.
يا حبيبي أنا بقدرش أطلع كل الناس هذول من
I can't get all the people out.
You got 2 hours to get them out.
يا أخوي لو ما بتطلع أنا بطوف.
We're gonna bomb the building. We're gonna bomb whatever you want. No, brother, we need to do everything we can so you don't die.
أخوي الواحد لازم يعمل كل شيء.
Pause it for a second. So the IDF person is trying desperately to get them to understand, we're going to bomb your building. You need to get out of your building. So they're trying to save lives.
You got 2 hours. We don't want you to die, but we are going to blow up the building in 2 hours.
And the Palestinians like, no.
Yeah,
we're
bomb
gonna
whatever
stay
you
here.
want. Bomb whatever you want.
We're staying here. Let's see the rest of this.
We want
to die. But you have a responsibility for your children's lives. If the children need to die, then they'll die. Good. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you deal with these people?
Yeah.
If the children need to die, they're going to die.
And he says, God forbid, we don't want you to die. And then the Palestinian guy goes, well, this is how we will illustrate your cruelty. By letting us die in this building so we can blame Israel.
When it's their fault, because they were warned. They're trying to get rid of the places that house the terrorists and the equipment that they have, but they're trying to save the lives of the people inside the building. Who does that? Us and the Israelis. That's about it. And the Palestinians are like, no, our children are going to die, so we can show it to the world that you've killed children here. Wow. All right. Wow.
I tell you what.
Martin is running the show today in the control room.
Wow.
Because Corby had to leave early. Is he filling in for somebody down the hall?
Yeah, so he's in for Sarah.
Okay. And so Martin's back.
Yeah.
This time he's still incompetent because
Seriously.
he started the show. First thing he does is start the hour a second late. That's a second we'll never get back. Thank you. Thank you, Martin.
Wow.
You're welcome. I'm so sorry.
Did you miss us?
I do miss you guys. I miss you guys a lot.
Yeah?
Aww.
You miss being berated on the air?
Yeah.
I miss it so much.
I was about to say.
It's such a blast.
Let's ruin the moment, Pat.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming back here.
Thanks for coming
taking
back.
a second from us
Great.
and the audience.
That we'll never get back. Well, the White House has released the president and vice president's tax returns, revealing the finances of the nation's two most powerful couples.
Did they overpay?
Oh, man. You know how good-hearted they are. You know how generous they are. You know it. And you love it. And, I mean, these are all about little people, right? These are the politicians that are so concerned about the little people. That's why they help them so much. Actually, this fits right in with their ideology. Biden's never been a giver. Usually about 1%, 1 to 2% charitable giving for the Bidens. He does a little bit more than that now because he knows he's going to be facing some scrutiny. So he bumped it all the way up to 5% last year. 5% charitable contributions. Now, Kamala and her husband, who had a gross income of $1.695 million, they donated to charity a whopping $27,006, which is 1.5% of their income went to charitable giving.
1.5%.
1.5%.
Okay.
So they're just practicing what they preach, and that's, I guess, that the government should do everything. They shouldn't be doing it. So it fits right in. It fits right in.
So then they would have overpaid.
Yes, they
to the government. So the government could then give more money to people that need it.
Sure. No, they actually, their effective tax rate was for the Bidens 25.9%, and for the Harrises 36.7%. So they gave probably less than their actual tax rate through deductions and whatever. So no, they didn't. They didn't overpay anywhere, frankly.
Huh.
But yeah, they're letting the government take care of whatever charitable needs people have. They don't have to be bothered with it. Got some tweets here from Adam Snyder. President Reagan was likable and funny.
Mm-hmm.
President Biden is neither. To about the 1 millionth power. That's true. Real Random G tweets, funny how both the left and Hamas accuse their enemy of the things they themselves do.
Yep.
Sure is.
Yep.
Sure is. By the way, speaking of allies with Hamas, did you see that BLM openly supports the Black Lives Matter, openly supports Hamas? Yay!
That's a match made in heaven, hell.
Yay! What a surprise. Surprise! I really thought it was going to be Israel.
Yeah, I thought you were going to throw us a curveball there.
Yeah,
but
no.
Didn't see that coming.
Alexandrum, occasional Kofax?
Cortex.
Kotex?
I don't know.
Oh, occasional Kotex, yeah. Oh, okay.
No, wait, what?
I got the Pfizer vaccine and am extremely disappointed to see I'm not magnetic. Was hoping to walk around with my granddaughter's latest art project stuck to my arm with a few refrigerator magnets.
You can find benefits to this. Like I said, wouldn't your keys stick to it?
I don't know. Maybe. From Hoboken Guppy, I got my second Moderna shot at 11 a.m. yesterday. By 8 p.m., I felt like I was hit by a car. Uh-oh. At 12 a.m., I woke up violently shaking with the chills, woke up at 7 a.m. in a puddle of sweat and sore all over. Fun! Thanks, China. Golly. The more I hear about it, the more I just can't. When I came into work on Monday morning, I was about ready to pull the trigger, frankly, and just get the vaccine and have it over with.
Oh, you scared me. I didn't know where you were going with that analogy.
I was just about to just say, I'm just going to do it. And then we got hit with this barrage of really bad stories on the vaccine all week long. And they when you bring this stuff up, though, they act like it's some sort of conspiracy theory.
I know.
That there's no evidence of any of this going on.
A lot of people going through a lot of trouble to go into the hospital, fake symptoms, record videos, post them online, have them taken down, and having to find places where you can post them and leave them up where they exist for more than 5 seconds.
Even if they didn't go to the hospital, everybody's getting sick from it. Just about everybody I've spoken to has been pretty sick.
That's right. Remember yesterday I said I didn't know of any side effects, that my mom and stepdad had?
Yeah.
Let's see. My mom had red bumps all over her arm.
Okay.
And my stepdad was tired all day for several days. So there you go. So those are like tame reactions compared to what we've been hearing.
Yeah, definitely. Jeez. All right. 888-900-3393. Oh, by the way, the Red Cross has an interesting announcement for you if you've gotten vaccinated. They don't want your plasma.
Okay. Let's see. What do we got? You got a video about this?
Yeah, we do.
I never got it.
No, we didn't.
That's too
no,
bad.
we don't. Okay, so the Red Cross doesn't want your plasma. Yeah. I guess it's tainted when you get the vaccine?
Like it doesn't do what it's supposed to do now. So they're like,
weird.
So you can keep that plasma. And somebody pointed out online that if you don't have the vaccine and you want to go donate plasma, give it a few months. It may be worth its weight in gold pretty soon.
When 70% of adults are vaccinated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called a supply and demand. And when the market tightens, then the price of what's available shoots up. So
I already know a bunch of college students who kind of make a living doing that.
You know a guy sitting in the room with you that's going to be doing that. You kidding me?
Yeah.
How much do they pay for plasma? I bet Martin knows. Martin, how much do they pay for plasma? I bet you go like every
it could
day.
be like $400 a month.
What?
Yeah. You can get depending on where and the need.
Oh, I'm shopping around too.
Yeah, shop around.
And that was before it became a scarce deal.
Yeah.
So
when 70% of the populace can't donate, then that's going to skyrocket.
Will I get cookies and juice?
I don't know, Keith.
Because I hear when you go and donate this stuff, when I donated blood, they always give me cookies and juice.
Yeah, but do you get Kexi cookies? I doubt it. No, you probably don't.
You should get a thing going with the Red Cross.
Yes.
And say, hey.
Yeah, hey.
You need some cookies?
Go to Kexi.com and buy the best cookies on the planet. People will flood into your place. But if you don't want to give plasma, you can still get the Kexi.com.
I don't have to give plasma or blood?
You don't have to give plasma or blood.
Oh,
no.
Okay. Very good.
We got some new flavors, too, that are really, really good. Strawberry cream.
Oh.
Delicious.
I'm following.
The lemon blueberry is back by popular demand. So anyway, Kexi.com. Check it out.
I'm following you home after the show today. That's for sure. And you know what goes great with Kexi Cookies is a new At The Mike podcast. You just go to atthemikeshow.com. And Joe Bastardi is my guest. Drops tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. So,
good.
Yeah,
okay.
He's fun. He's a lot of fun. He's got a lot of energy, that guy. Joe Bastardi.
Yeah, he does. He loves to be on.
He is good. I love him.
So he's a talker. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Unvaccinated Americans twice as likely to feel comfortable ditching a mask. That's according to a new poll as the mandates are lifted. Well, yeah, because we don't want really any of it. We're done with the face coverings. We don't want your vaccine because we don't know what's in it. We don't know what it's going to do to our bodies. The left, though, they're just lemmings that will follow the government anywhere they're being led. I mean, if Biden says it, then by golly, they're gonna go do it.
I can't understand this. I thought you felt invincible now that you had your magic potion in your arm and you could go and take on the world without a mask and live life and all this stuff. But I think what this is the result of raising. I think this generation is coming of age that we gave not only participation trophies to, but we wrapped them in bubble wrap and we said, look, if you're gonna ride your bike. You're going to wear a helmet, and you're going to keep the training wheels on extra long, and don't go past the stop sign. And I mean, we've been overprotecting a generation, and now they're getting this vaccine, and they're still terrified, and they're keeping their mask on because they want to be protected because they always were.
Yeah. How many of us died from not wearing a helmet when we rode our bikes when we were kids? I don't remember that ever happening. I don't remember traumatic brain injury from falling off a bike when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Maybe it happened every day and I just wasn't aware of it. But I didn't once wear a helmet while I was riding my bike. Not
I'm
once.
The most accident-prone individual that you know. And I had some nasty spills on my bike.
Yeah, I did too.
But like you said,
I survived.
I avoided a head injury. You wouldn't know it to hear me talk.
No, you wouldn't.
Talk, but,
that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, I still have scars like on knees and elbows from bike
crashes.
Yeah. I mean, that's childhood, man.
Yeah,
that's life. You go through these struggles, you learn lessons so that you don't do them again.
Not anymore. Not anymore. We protect you from that.
And then you, like you said, you end up following the government, whatever they say, and you're still terrified.
Yep.
Getting ready to go into Target. I know they say we can take off the mask, but
you can't do it.
I'm keeping mine on.
Oh, good.
I am. I'm not ready.
I am. Okay.
It's too much. Too soon.
Too much too soon. But your precious CDC said go for it. What's your problem?
I'm keeping mine on. I can't. I just can't.
She's so terrified she doesn't even trust the government's direction.
It's just too much. It's too soon.
It's too soon to take your mask off, honey.
Well, the CDC said there's going to be people who are going to have a tough time giving up the mask. And I thought, what garbage. And then that day, she appears. It's true. There's going to be people like her who just they can't. I just can't. I can't give up the mask. I love it. I love wearing the mask.
Too much.
It's too much. It's too soon. I can't. I'm too scared. So good for you. Wear your stupid mask the rest of your life. That's great.
Yeah.
And make sure it's the same mask that you have on now that you have on 10 years from now, because I'm sure that'll be really healthy for you. Really, really hygienic.
I'm telling you, these people don't realize the
they don't.
Sad twist of fate.
They don't. Even Fauci at the beginning of this thing said, the mask, people are touching it and messing with it, and what he was saying was, you're just infecting your mask with other kinds of germs and viruses that you picked up from who knows what, where your hands are contaminated with something, and when you touch your mask is contaminated.
Could you do me and the audience a favor, and whenever you say my hands, don't have a long pause, because then
are small, I know.
Then we hear the bit.
But they're not yours.
Yeah.
They are my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I will not be broken.
You won't be broken.
I will not be broken.
Thank you, Jewel. Appreciate it.
Sure. On Thursday, May 13th, so this would have been a week ago. Yeah, last week. The Minister of the Interior of Croatia announced that they were going to be the first EU member to successfully conduct a pilot test of the digital green certificate system.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere. Yes.
Finally, somebody's implemented this. The digital green certificates will be valid in all EU member states and facilitate free movement within them. Wow.
That's not free movement then. If you need a certificate to move around.
The European Commission explains that national authorities will be responsible for issuing the certificates to their citizens. This will be done by hospitals, test centers, health authorities, etc. Moreover, the certificates will act as digital proof that one has either been vaccinated, received a negative test result, or recovered from the virus. They verified that this is all ready, it's ready to go, and they're issuing their certificates, and this kicks in January 1st. So the digital green certificate system is in operation in the European Union. And by the way, if you want to go to Europe, you can this year.
Oh, yeah? How do you
just
do that?
get vaccinated and carry your proof around with you. You just have to be vaccinated. So
I think actually you just have to carry your proof around with you.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to mess with the European Union.
Oh, yeah. They're tough, right?
Yeah, they're tough.
The EU. Oh, shaking over here.
Yeah. Well, it includes the French, let's not forget. The surrender monkeys from France who...
Okay, shaking over here.
Actually, the French have been more resistant to some of this stuff than we have.
Yeah.
At least they said, look, we're not messing with our language. We're not going to go gender non-specific. Okay? We're not going to do it.
And then to that, somebody said online, we've been lapped by France.
Yes.
I mean, that sucks.
It's
but
sad.
Yeah, and then remember Steve Dace pointed out, not only was the gender neutral thing dead on arrival there, but they have nuclear energy. And the other one was something else that was really good, and I just forgot because I didn't wear a helmet when I was a kid riding a bike around town.
That's what happens. 888-900-3393. Keith's wife, Carrie, just sent this note over. The cleaner at our church had a CPS investigation open because his daughter got hurt while sledding, and the doctor didn't like that the kids didn't have sledding helmets on. Wait, what? What's a sledding helmet? I've never heard of sledding helmets.
I mean, and this is Texas.
Nobody has ever worn a helmet while sledding. Unless you're doing the luge in the Olympics or the bobsled.
It's not like sledding is second nature to us here in Texas. We get a snow every decade.
Yeah.
Stop it. What?
Sledding helmets.
I tell you, man, doctors like that are like the HOA of pediatricians.
Wow, that's really bad.
Oh, gosh.
I would be just a little irritated. Just a little irritated.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yep. There might be some, I don't know, stern words expressed. Maybe some tense exchanges, perhaps. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's possible.
And other stuff.
Hero Elita tweets, what's funny is when people say I'm wearing gloves, so it doesn't matter that I'm touching my mask. Me. You do realize you're still touching everything with those gloves, and it's still transferred to the mask, right? No, the fact is they don't realize that.
So when...
They don't.
Oh, wait. When you touch stuff with gloves, it doesn't just vanish?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, no. I've been doing it wrong, too.
That's weird, isn't it? That's kind of weird. And I've seen that. I've seen people with masks and gloves at the grocery store. So they think that going and touching all of the boxes and the products, I guess they're immune with the gloves on, and then they can go ahead and handle their mask all they want.
We've seen some weird stuff, not only online, but in person. I know you've seen it, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, I saw a guy look like the Fly or something with his Bono goggles and like a helmet thing was on and a mask and gloves and like long like calving gloves. We have seen some weird stuff in the last 14 months.
One of the dumbest looking things, and it does absolutely no good, and I don't even know why people accept it, is that face shield. It's got
I love it.
Air all through here.
It's hysterical.
Up here, down here.
Yeah.
But
people were buying that for a while.
They're buying it.
Like people would not say anything.
And I mean, that's a great way to go because you could breathe. You're not being smothered by the shield. So, but I didn't do it because, I mean, that's silly.
I think the point is to just say, does this make you feel better?
Yeah.
I'm wearing something on my face.
Yes.
And most of the time people will just be like,
okay.
Hey, that's neat.
He's got a shield on.
So he cares about me.
It's okay. He's not trying to kill me.
And actually,
got a shield on.
It's not he's trying to protect me. It's, oh, good. He's obeying too.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, obedience is what is prolonging this national nightmare.
David Johnson tweets, I got the Moderna vaccine. Second shot was 2 months ago. Tried the magnet trick, and it worked.
Yes.
My grandkids are going to love this. Until somebody keels over from it, I don't.
You don't like having metal?
I hope no one ever keels over from
hanging
it.
out in your body? Like little metallic particles?
It's really weird.
Sounds like fun.
And why at just the injection site? I guess because does some of it just kind of stay there? Maybe the metals just kind of cling to whatever it is?
I think your answer is in the next tweet.
Okay. Really? Okay, this is from Viking Writer.
Uh-huh.
Vax card. Let me see if this magnet sticks.
There you go. Now we know why there's metal in your arm. It's because that's proof that you've been vaccinated when they wand your arm.
That's great.
Oh. Stranger things have happened.
Mm-hmm. 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 This is from an op-ed in Britain. This is what we do about anti-vaxxers, is the headline.
Oh, here we go.
No job, no entry, no NHS access. Oh, okay. All right. Why don't you just take them out back and shoot them?
That's what they want to do.
It is what they want to do. What should we do about the anti-vaxxers? A presumptuous question, I know, because they're human beings, same as the majority of the population who choose to take the COVID-19 vaccines, and we're all entitled to do what we will or won't with our own bodies.
Really? Can we leave it there?
No, of course not.
No, okay.
But the time has come when the hard choices are looming closer. If we don't want the COVID crisis to last forever, we need some new simple guidelines. No jab, no job. No jab, no access to NHS health care. No jab, no state education for your kids. No jab, no access to pubs, restaurants, theaters, cinemas, stadiums. No jab, no entry to the UK, and much else.
Boy,
wow.
This is good, right? We've gone from bribe to shame to now just destroy your life if you don't get the vax.
Who wants their grandma looked after by someone with coronavirus or teaching in a school full of kids sneezing the Indian variant somewhere? Why is that okay? Why can't you call it the Indian variant again, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Why they were so insistent that it's not the China virus, but the Indian variant. Perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen? And why? Nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing. Who wants their grandma with the coronavirus or teaching in a school full of kids sneezing the Indian variant everywhere, or to watch a football game with someone coughing their viral load all over you? That's not my idea of freedom.
Oh, gosh.
Jeez. Society always needs to balance rights against obligations. And with rare exceptions, those refusing a vaccine need to accept what everyone else does or face the consequences. Fortunately, no one's fundamental human rights need to be violated. No one should ever make vaccination compulsory for that very reason. It would be a violation of their human rights. But you can make life so miserable for them that they can't do anything or go anywhere or even shop for food, probably. So you're not going to be allowed to go to the grocery store. Oh, okay, I guess eating is not a right. This is the road we're starting to travel down. It's pretty frightening.
It is
pretty frightening.
this full court press, these op-eds, the bribes, the shame, the plans to destroy those that don't conform to your will.
Yeah.
It's going to get really ugly fast.
And Vox has this opinion piece. Vaccine passports can liberate America. Oh, what a nice spin on that. That's a great spin. Welcome to it. By the way, please subscribe and rate 5 stars this program as well while you're at it. When you subscribe, that doesn't mean we're going to start bombarding you with spam or change your long-distance phone carrier without your authorization, which isn't really even a thing anymore, which is kind of cool. But it does help spread the word for us. It helps get it out there to people.
On Apple iTunes, 5-star ratings, and then it'll pop up for more people.
All right. And they'll get to see really cool things like this. This woman who is responding to people who say that they need scientific proof that God exists. This is kind of cool. This is just a feel-good sort of segment after being bombarded with all kinds of garbage.
When young people actually are coherent and thoughtful individuals.
Isn't it?
And so that's why we have to highlight them, you know?
Yeah, it's refreshing. Here she is.
Have y'all ever heard of the theory of general relativity? It's what Einstein is famous for. In his calculations, he started to realize that the universe was not eternal. It had a beginning. Now this leads us to the law of causality. Everything that came to be needs a cause. So Einstein clearly knew that if the universe had a beginning, it needed a cause. Let's go to the Big Bang Theory. There was no space, no time, and no matter before the Big Bang. The universe emerged out of nothingness. What does that mean? Since it's impossible for the universe to be able to create itself because it didn't exist in order to be able to create itself, nature and the universe itself was just a big effect that was caused by, what are we left with? An extremely powerful, extremely intelligent, precise, given the precision that our universe was created with, personal entity that is capable of existing outside of time, space, and matter. That can't be nothing but God. And for people that are like, okay, well, how do you know that it's like Christianity's God? There's only one God. But there's a very famous astronomer named Robert Jastrow. His credentials as a scientist are impeccable. Being agnostic, he's not even a Christian. He said that all of the essential elements of the Big Bang Theory line up with biblical creation. Because this is how God works. God speaks something, and then science runs to catch up with what he said. Science doesn't create anything. Science studies creation. Let me just answer a question that I always get. Who created God? What'd I say? I said everything with a beginning. Everything that came to be needs a cause. God didn't come to be. God is eternal, the way a lot of people thought the universe was until science disproved it. So God doesn't need a cause or a creator. He is the cause. The universe is the effect. Don't just take my word for it. Go look into it for yourself. One more thing. Evidence is not a substitute for faith. Following God is not a matter of evidence or proof. It's a matter of the will. You have to want to do it so you can have the peace that you're looking for. And if you don't want to make that choice, no amount of evidence is going to convince you to. You have to want to.
Wow. That's really good. She's really smart. I wonder if that convinces people. Seemed like a pretty reasonable explanation to me. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Things going really well in Chicago right now. They had to just release 1,000 feral cats.
That sentence has never been spoken. Things are going really well in Chicago right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so well that the feral cats were released onto the streets of Chicago to do something about the explosion of the rat population.
Oh, no.
That's how well they're going. The Windy City was ranked #1 on pest control company Orkin's list of the rattiest cities in the United States.
Ugh.
6 consecutive years now. How proud they must be. They got to be proud in Chicago. Yeah, 6 years running. We're #1 in rats.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What should we do about that?
Release 1,000 feral cats.
Whoa, leave the rats.
In an effort to rein in the explosion, the Treehouse Humane Society kicked off a program to release feral felines into areas experiencing rat problems. Wow.
That's gross.
This is really something. Baltimore used to be the #1 area for rats in I thought the entire country.
Where's New York, man?
I thought it was Baltimore for a while. They had The rats outnumbered people 10-1 at one point.
Wow.
In Baltimore. Yeah. So we were pretty proud when I lived there.
Yeah.
We were proud of that.
I'm just trying to find the list. Oh, well.
Of the rattiest cities.
That's the dumbest thing. I found the 2020 list. Chicago, L.A., New York, D.C., San Francisco. Well, Baltimore falls to 8.
Oh, wow.
It's
really falling down on the job.
Dallas-Fort Worth down to 16. So
DFW 16th in rat population?
Yeah.
Huh.
Got any more you want me to look up here? West Palm Beach cracking the top 50. Look at that. They shot up. They were in the others receiving votes last year. But Albuquerque jumps 19 spots to
Congratulations,
48.
Albuquerque. Congratulations. It's fantastic. Top 50 now.
Top 50, Albuquerque.
Top
you know what
50
that is? That's
rat population.
That's some nasty house that somebody, lives in and just rot. That jumped up. That spiked.
Some hoarder.
That spiked Albuquerque and got him on the map here.
But congratulations, whatever the cause. Congratulations on that.
You've earned it.
Speaking of Chicago, Mayor Lori Lightfoot. This is... It's unbelievable, frankly. She's granting interviews to only black or brown journalists.
Wow.
Did you ever think you'd see a headline like that from a major American city? The mayor of that major American city, third largest in the country. Yeah, I'm only going to talk to black and brown journalists. No whiteys allowed. None. Huh. NBC5 Chicago political reporter Marianne Ahern took to Twitter on Tuesday to mark the midway point of Lightfoot's first term in office. Is she in relation to Gordon Lightfoot, by the way? From the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Every time I hear the name Lightfoot, that's the only thing I can think of is Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah, everybody thinks that, yeah.
Apparently acknowledged her failed effort to land an interview. As Chicago mayor reaches her 2-year midway point as mayor, her spokeswoman says Lightfoot is granting one-on-one interviews only to black or brown journalists. And apparently, Ahern wasn't the only one. I was told the same thing, said WTTW Chicago Tonight anchor and correspondent Paris Schultz. Wow. I can confirm, Chicago politics reporter Heather Sharon similarly tweeted. So this is not some made-up thing from one reporter. Everybody agrees. She's only granting interviews to minority reporters. Is that even legal? Is that okay to do in Chicago? I guess. Wow. I mean, they have put up with mayors that are ridiculous in Chicago for a really long time. The Daleys. I mean, Mayor Daley was so corrupt. Nobody cared for 50 years? I mean, the guy was like 114 when he finally keeled over and couldn't be mayor anymore of Chicago. It's unclear when such a practice was enacted and if it only applies to local reporters, especially after her MSNBC appearance with Stephanie Ruhle on Monday. Lightfoot was slammed on social media facing allegations of racism for choosing to speak with journalists solely based on the color of their skin. Jeez. It's amazing, the stories that we have every single day that, 10 years ago would have caused quite an uproar. And now it's barely even mentioned. Oh, yeah, the mayor's only doing interviews with black and brown reporters. Whiteys need not apply. Oh, all right. Nobody cares.
I mean, seriously.
Nobody cares.
The people of Chicago should be surrounding her house. Mm-hmm. They should. And it should be black, brown, and white people surrounding her house, saying, "What is this? What do we got here? This article about you won't talk to non-black and brown reporters." Who could have seen?
No, you couldn't
so quickly.
No way. You couldn't see it. And then Meghan Markle and Prince Harry kind of going the other way. They just announced last Tuesday they've made a deal with multi-billion-dollar consumer goods corporation Procter & Gamble. Selling, despite the company selling skin whitening creams.
Oh.
So they went with Procter & Gamble anyway, despite the fact that they sell these creams. So I don't think that Duke and Duchess are actually selling the cream.
I thought they had gotten into the facial cream business, finally.
They're not in the facial cream business. That's what I was kind of hoping for.
Oh, what are they doing?
Ah, dang it.
What are they selling?
They said the multi-year global partnership with Procter & Gamble will seek to, quote, unleash systemic cultural change, unquote, by building more compassionate communities. Now, the creams Procter & Gamble sells advertise that they reduce the production of melanin in users' skin and have been criticized by many who say the products are creating a toxic belief that light skin is superior to dark. Now, okay, that might be true, but would the company sell these products if nobody bought them?
Right.
No, they wouldn't.
How much do they make?
Let me see.
$7 billion in just those sales alone. I think they make
the skin. Yeah, well, okay, the skin lightening industry.
It
doesn't say Procter & Gamble gets all of that.
Yeah.
But the skin lightening industry is worth $7 billion a year.
I think we know why they sell that now.
What? And P&G, like other companies, they're not willing to give that up. They've promised to continue selling its white radiance and natural white products. Oh, man. And Olay is defending the creams by likening them to tanners. Oh, well, that's kind of a good... that's a reasonable point, right? If you are willing to tan your skin darker, why can't you untan it lighter?
There's a Procter & Gamble executive, right? And he's got in his desk drawer, it's like, I knew this day would come.
Yep.
They're mad about the whitening floor. Hold on a second.
How about tanning cream?
Let's see here. I've got all these different excuses. Let's go with it's just like tanning. It's just like the opposite of go with that one, boys. Let's see if that one sticks. All right.
Kind of stuck with me. I mean, that's
right.
It makes sense to me.
But I'm looking the articles. Every article is about Procter & Gamble and skin whitening. Nowhere does an article explain what this stupid, pointless, irrelevant job title actually does. It's just like, what are they doing? They're going around the world to what? Hey, let's be multicultural.
Yeah. I want them to go home. Go back where you came from.
Get
all
out.
right? Get out. Get out.
But this is an industry in of itself. These race-tied,
huge,
empty job titles. You know, we talk about them usually on college campuses. And what do you do? Like, what do? You talk about race? Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cash that check.
Yeah.
And a lot of time it's just divisive. There's nothing edifying in any of these job titles that we read about in different colleges and universities. I'd be interested to see what the Meghan Markle Prince Harry racial global initiative tour is going to be like. Multi-year.
Yeah.
But now the good news is if they're traveling around the world, they're not here.
Right. Exactly. But he's got to come back from time to time to his podcast, I guess.
No, you can do that anywhere.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I do that with my own
That's
podcast at themikeshow.com.
With the right equipment, you can do a great podcast. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everybody has one.
That's right.
Every living being on this planet does a podcast. So.
No, actually, that's so funny because I forgot who it was. I just saw this morning some Politico, some lady starting a podcast, and I thought, so now does everyone have one? Because you keep seeing these new ones. You're like, wait, you didn't have one?
Wait, how is that possible? I thought it was.
I mean, the lady that runs the deli over at the local Walmart. I mean,
she's got a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course she does.
So it's like,
of course she does.
Well, who doesn't anymore?
Martin, you have a podcast, right? You have a podcast?
I do have one. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, he does.
I do have one,
What is it called? Plug it, because I forget what it's called.
I don't want to plug it. It's okay.
You don't? Go ahead.
What?
Hey, plug it. What is it?
It's called the Red Pegasus Podcast.
The Red Pegasus Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That sounds racist.
Mm-hmm.
The word red is in it.
I think it is, so I'm going to have to change that name.
Yeah. What do you do on your podcast? What do you talk about?
We just talk about things that are going on around the Dallas area.
Way to sell it, man. Dallas? Why are you microcosm Dallas there? Why don't you spread out and talk?
Well, really everywhere, but that's why it's the Red Pegasus, because that's like the unofficial mascot of Dallas.
Oh, that's right.
Is Pegasus?
Is that the one?
It's the Red Pegasus.
Really?
Is that statue over here I always threaten to go to?
Yeah.
It's not even in Dallas.
Why is Pegasus the
I don't know.
official symbol of Dallas?
Well, if you listen to episode 1, you'll be able to.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll do that.
The Phoenix, the mythical creature. That's the I don't know, mascot of Atlanta, rising from the ashes after Sherman did his deal. Oh, by the way, a couple weeks ago, Rob Borowski, TV Rob down the hall here, he started his own podcast as well. It's called Unwoke. And it started. So So literally, everybody has a podcast now.
Everyone.
So you should take a time and check everybody's out. We'll post a link to everybody's later on Twitter.
And we've got plenty of time to just be listening to everybody's podcast. So
yeah.
I
have to be doing something. I can't.
While you listen to the podcast?
Yeah, like either I'm driving or cleaning, doing something like that, But I love it because you can just absorb information while you're doing stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. So what will 2050 look like if we don't do anything about climate change? This has been on my mind. I struggle with this. I wake up in the middle of the night with it. What will 2050 look like if we don't do anything about climate change? I bet 3, 4, 5 times a week I wake up in cold sweats over that. Here's what it'll look like. Hot. You'll have a constant cough and regular mask wearing. But not to protect you from disease, I don't think. That's probably from the air. Yeah. It's 2050. A climate change worst case scenario has come to pass. The air is polluted, making you cough. You have to check the air quality before even opening a window.
Oh, shut up, you.
When you do go outside, your eyes water, and you have to wear a mask. On bad days, a high-tech mask, that is, if you can afford it. Depending on where you live, the temperature could be as hot.
Oh no, what do we got?
Heaven help us. Please, somebody help me. Please, please, by all that is holy, somebody help me get through this stuff. Depending where you live, temperature can be as hot as 140 degrees Fahrenheit for more than a month each year.
Oh, right. This is going to be great.
140?
Hold on a second. Wait, you can't breathe the air.
Can't breathe the air.
It's 140 degrees in the shade.
For
a month. So far, you're describing Houston, Texas.
Yes, that's true. Houston, Texas, 20 years ago. In public restrooms, you have to pay to use water.
Well, hang on a second. You're still describing Houston.
Yes.
I could not drink the water. I drink water out of the tap, man. I couldn't even think about doing that in Houston.
There is a mental toll to living in a world that feels like a dangerous obstacle course. People feel bottomless despair and resent previous generations for their lack of action.
Right. This is Houston, man. Because I'm upset at the brothers for paving a swamp and calling it a town. Continue. This is Houston, man.
This worst case scenario is what life could look like if no progress is made in slowing greenhouse gases to mitigate climate change. This is bullcrap. Yeah. Nobody is saying, no reasonable human being, no scientist is actually saying that this will come to pass by 2050 if we don't do anything about climate change. If we don't do anything about climate change, it might go to 101 degrees on a hot day instead of 100 because it's going to be a degree, maybe a degree and a half warmer. This is such garbage. There's a new book out. Let me see if I can find the name of this because I just downloaded it today. It's called Unsettled, and it's by Stephen Koonin from Caltech and MIT. Got a PhD. So he got his degree at Caltech, then went across country to MIT and got his PhD there. He is a physicist. He was in the Obama administration as one of Obama's climate guys. And he just wrote this book that all of this stuff is unsettled. They keep saying it's settled science. No, absolutely not. And he goes through like Michael Schellenberger did and tells you what the IPCC at the UN actually says, because everybody quotes them on, oh, well, the IPCC says within 12 years, if we don't do something, there's going to be catastrophic climate change. No, they don't. No, they don't say that. And he makes that point, as did Michael Schellenberger.
Well, so this is the guy last week. Remember we had the clip of the former Obama administration official. It was this guy who was saying that, like, this hysteria is stupid. It does no good, and you give time to people like Greta Thunberg, and yet the scientists, and there are many, are saying, no, this catastrophe stuff is not real. Yeah. They get ignored by these conferences.
Rob, if you can find that real quick, I'd love to play it, but I don't know if it's possible at this late date. But that would be great to see again, because that's right. Now we know why he was out talking. He's got the book now called Unsettled, and he debunks all of this kind of stuff. The 140 degree for a month temperatures. I mean, we wouldn't survive that. Seriously. What agriculture would survive a month worth of 140 degree temperatures? That's just ridiculous. You know what the hottest temperature ever recorded on this planet is? It's like 128 or 130 degrees.
Let's see here.
It might be 132. Anyway, it's from 128 to 132. It's never even gotten to 140 degrees on this planet. Oh, jeez. And now, in 2050, you're going to have that for a month at a time? No. That is just absolute bull crap.
134.1.
134.1.
At the aptly named Furnace Creek, California. 1913, I'd like to point out.
1913?
Not 2021.
Not yesterday. Yeah, jeez. 1913.
Boy. I don't know what the coldest temperature ever recorded was, but it was apparently here in Dallas back in February.
Yes, this past February.
Yes. I gotta find, what is the coldest ever?
It's 128 below in Antarctica.
Yeah, really?
I don't know.
I thought it was Siberia.
I think it is.
There you go.
My guess is Antarctica.
Is that your guess?
See if you can find it.
What's with the sniff? You don't think I'll find it?
No.
Minus 128.6 in 1983 in Siberia.
I was 0.6 degrees off. But it was Siberia, not Antarctica.
But, you know, those weather stations are pretty much gone now since the fall of
Siberian?
communism. Yeah. Which is, like I've said, increase the average temperature on the planet, because when you remove weather stations that are traditionally colder than the rest of the planet,
it's going to raise the average temperature.
Yes, and because scientists aren't forced to man these weather stations now since the fall of whatever.
I know, we've said it so many times. It's like you talk to your blue in the face and then, okay, I give up.
I'm just hoping somebody go to the water cooler today. The next time you're with a coworker, hell, do people even go to work anymore? I mean, you work from home or you collect the check.
7 in 10 still work from home.
7 out of 10 white-collar jobs still working out of the house.
Still from home. And maybe they'll keep doing it, too. I mean, why come in if it's just as good at home?
You know what you do? If you're still doing these Zoom calls from home, have a whiteboard behind your computer. And if you have somebody that's always talking about climate change or some liberal on there, just have a fun fact. And every time they start bringing up crap, you just regurgitate that, erase the whiteboard, and put another fact for the next time.
You'll be canceled and fired, of course.
No.
But
I mean, there's that.
Sounds good. In theory, it sounds good. All right, we will see you again tomorrow. Finish off the week together, and Jeffy will join us here on Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.